Hello, YouTube. So, in recent weeks, UFOs have been spotted in different parts of the world. In a Chinese province, the fiery dots lined up in the night sky, and I shared the photographs with my audience. In Uruguay, over the city of Termas del Almiron, something was blinking anxiously in the sky for a long time, according to the Russian sources. Now, the Moldovan authorities in Eastern Europe closed the sky for several hours because of their UFO. Something also got to the Leningrad region in European Russia. From February 11 to 13, in the north and east of the region, luminous dots were observed moving across the sky at great speed at sharp angles. Eyewitnesses involuntarily began to believe in aliens and wondered, are they out of their element there? Amateur astronomers, scientists, and military pilots talked to Russian media and explained what it all means, according to them, with that UFO in the Leningrad region on February 13, 2023. It all started on the night of February 11. Amateur explorer of the polar lights, Alexander Shadov, stood on the shore of Lake Voloyarvi in the Vsevolozhsky district of the Leningrad region and filmed a time-lapse. It's a video created from large number of photos. At some point, the man noticed a strange firefly standing out against the background of stars and moving along a horizontal trajectory. The object was approximately in the direction of Karelia over the island of Vala-Am. We see a lot of glowing dots in the sky at night, but this was something new, incomprehensible, shared his impressions with the media Alexander. Either a drone or signal lights over Ladega, or maybe a satellite reflecting light. The dot moved and disappeared smoothly, and so every 3 minutes it repeated. A lot of people looked at civilian aircraft tracking services, but they weren't in the area that night. The object was very high and far away. It seemed to me that it was generally near orbit or in space, at the level of satellites. Another Aurora hunter, so to say, Darina, took her time lapse from a UFO. She has similar assumptions to Alexander. A light was flickering over the horizon. It then became clear from the photo that it flashed about in one place and cyclically. The plane would have left a long time ago, so she means the airplane. Hardly a drone or a helicopter. The dot was clearly further and brighter, argued the girl. Photos and videos of UFOs in the Leningrad regions are very interesting, but if on February 11 and 12 the lights confused only amateur astronomers, then on the 13th the military was already alarmed. But they quickly refuted the theories created in the spirit of the X-Files series. Although the source of the Russian media from the Western Military District still admitted that the situation with the appearance of UFOs in the Leningrad region was quite unusual. So because of the UFOs over Ladeinaya Polya, the airspace was completely closed. It was necessary to close the airspace over the Ladeinaya Polya for a short time where this dot was being observed. For safety, an interceptor fighter was dispatched. This is a mandatory procedure. We checked and found out that there is nothing wrong. In fact, this is not an enemy airplane, not a drone, and moreover, not green men, not little green men. Just such a phenomenon. It happens periodically. Something with the climate, with Mother Nature. There is no explanation. It blinked and disappeared, a source from the military district command assured. The Western Military District is a military district of Russia. It is one of the 5 military districts of the Russian Armed Forces, with its jurisdiction primarily within the western central region of European Russia. The words of the military are confirmed by the archive of the Flight Radar Service, which has preserved the route of civilian aircraft. You can see how they fly in an arc around the area above the Ladenia Polya and turn into Pulkovo. At this time, the interceptor fighter was studying UFOs, but the object would shine a little, and that's it. It was not possible for the military to examine it closely. In general, there is no need, according to the Russian media, to wait for the adoption of the fantasy novel The War of the Worlds in reality. But the question remains, what exactly was flying in the sky? Several ufologists and astronomers told the editorial board of Russian newspapers, like Komsomolskaya Pravda of the area, that it takes a lot of time and money to study, but it still will not work out to solve the riddle, even with that. But the honored military pilot of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Popov, who in his youth flew out to intercept UFOs, he was not surprised by the Firefly. In our Air Force, unidentified objects are not necessarily flying saucers of some kind or some kind of animals. We classify as UFOs all unexplained natural phenomena, including electromagnetic, explained Popov to the Russian new media. You fly up to it like a different viewing angle, but it's still unclear what it is. And then the light disappears. They restrict the airspace for a while to find out whether it is safe to fly in the area. But God knows what kind of lights there are. Even scientists cannot explain some phenomena. I can't physically touch the UFOs. I didn't physically touch the UFOs, just flew out, observed, described, and reported. There are phenomena on the planet that we don't know yet. They didn't fully understand nature. A quick light, that's from another source, a quick light that flew over the Leningrad region on February 13 and confused the Western Military District. No one took a video. It was very cloudy, but the UFOs caught on the cameras in the previous 2 days are visible on the time-lapse of amateur astronomers. For the Russian media, they were analyzed by Maxim Khvrychev, senior researcher at the Pulkovo Astronomical Observatory of the Russian Academy of Sciences. He doesn't agree with the military. We can say for sure that this has nothing to do with aliens. We know a little about how the universe works to assert this. In my opinion, this is most likely not a natural phenomenon, but a technical phenomenon. What exactly, it is impossible to say. Maybe someone's active experiments in the atmosphere or in near space. I wouldn't call these lights UFOs at all. For a long time, people have not put an abbreviation into the term UFO, meaning, therefore it is better to use the phrase unknown phenomenon, summed up the scientist. Here's another source about the events. In the Leningrad region, the airspace was closed the other day. The reason is an unidentified flying object, or rather strange lights that eyewitnesses observed for 2 days. The fact is that the signal kovер, or carpet, was announced and a fighter jet took off to intercept the object. The carpet signal, which the air defense authorities give when illegally crossing the border by aircraft, or the appearance of UFOs, was announced on the morning of February 13. Within a radius of 200 square kilometers at all altitudes in the area of Ladenia Polya, the airspace was closed. Civilian vessels were withdrawn from there, and an interceptor jet was lifted into the sky. However, it was not possible to establish which object was spinning in the air in the area of Ladenia Polya. Perhaps the system reacted to a drone that could get into the airspace of the region, but no such incidents have been reported. Recall that these events in the Leningrad region are taking place against the background of ongoing discussions of UFOs shut down by the U.S. military in recent days. These are not the first strange lights that residents of St. Petersburg and residents of the Leningrad region see in the sky of the region. So a little more than a year ago, eyewitnesses were alarmed by a bright object flying almost vertically. Flashes of lights were also seen in Karelia and Petrozavodsk at that time. Now, if you follow my research and look at my videos, you will find a number of references to the western part of the Russian Federation, and historically, in my books too, I describe strange events, sightings, and developments in Leningrad, as St. Petersburg was called before, actually, over St. Petersburg centuries ago as well. Very interesting stuff. You can see it in my books, including Russia's USO secrets, because I describe UFOs and USOs, unidentified submersible objects, as well. I covered quite a lot about that region, and I want the world to know it's not all about the United States. Believe me, there have been sightings for centuries over the Russian Empire, and of course China too. You can find a lot of videos of mine about China, and they should not be ignored. So if you like my research, please do me a favor, support it through the links you will find in the description to this video. Please tell others about my research. It's time they find out that it's not all about Area 51. There's much more in the world to consider. And please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.